some foundations here, took the one that was new to the ministry, knowing what his role was in the world, and made him head of the trustee board. Now, here's to really laugh. You have to know what his position was in the world.
Oh,
he was a former Fed.
I kind of picked that up.
and most church people would, have dancing out there like, oh my God. But you know what? Brother, that money got right from that church. Do you hear me? Because that was always his gift. Right. He just chose to use it in the world.
Right.
And now he himself is pastoring.
Wow.
But somebody saw the gift in him.
Mm. You know this is
that's
like
me. That's me. If you want the unconventional, that's me.
You are breaking the traditional rules.
Route, and winning souls. Nor am I my calling to be the congenial, the comfortable kosher, one to just make you feel good. That's not me. That's not what I was called to do. I'm going to take the one that's been broken. And I'm going to take the one that has a willingness to say, you know what, maybe I wasn't always doing this right. Maybe I should switch this up. And maybe I'm going to release these girls that I used to pimp out and give my life to the Lord and see how God can use me here. All right, brother, we're going to put you over the money. Because you know how to have the money.
Oh, hold on 1 second. That is telling me, hold on. That is telling me that I held you on a little too long. But we've got part 2 coming up. That is funny, Pastor.
It's funny, but it's also a truth. What if we really tapped into people's strengths? What if we really got a hold of people's gifting, even if it made us uncomfortable, but really allowed them to flourish for the advancement? We don't need to build up God's kingdom. He did an excellent job of building it himself. But for the advancement of his kingdom. What if we really did our jobs together? Where could we really be as a church university?
Wow. I mean, you have, and that's really true. And that's a powerful question. It's a question I ask. So much you talked about, and you and I talked, of course, previously, and there's so many that you talked about, even with, what I'm saying with me. So, being just burnt out from just the on the run, on the go, always doing. And it's not just that people didn't realize, I guess, the ministry was not just, it wasn't just the preaching or the praying and stuff like that in the church. It was the stuff we did outside of the church that really wore me out. Really wore me out and really burned me out. And just traveling all the time, back and forth, living out of the suitcase,
even in all of my busyness,
the trunk of my car, and all this other foolishness. It's just crazy that I got burnt out. But I'm listening. Go ahead.
But even in all of our running around, all that we did, you and me both, and all that running that we did, the question is, were we really productive?
True.
And were their lives transformed that we could still see the fruit of that today? I preached back in my home church, Akron, Ohio, on Mother's Day. I preached there, and for me to have, there's a family named the Jackson that attend there, and I just remember always seeing these 4 little kids, come up to the right side. All of them are in college, and I'm going to wrap this with this point here. All of them are now in college. And they ran up to me, hey, Pastor, and they're telling me what they're doing in life now. Right? Here's the thing that blessed me ridiculously. I didn't cry in front of them, but I lost it a little later. They said, okay, after giving me a hug to leave, they were like, we still have our stones. Brother, that thing now, just hearing that does nothing. Let's go back. About 20-something years ago, I preached a sermon called I Have a Story, and Now I Have a Stone. And I talked about how God, every time he delivered the children of Israel something, he told them to take a stone as a monument. And anytime somebody sees that stone and question it, you can share my goodness of what I did, what I brought you through. And I brought a whole bunch of stones, washed them and anointed them. And told, people, God hasn't done anything for you. I'm just telling. Now, if you're waiting for God, if you're trusting God, believing God to do something for you, I want you to come and get stoned. And these, at that time, they were 4 little kids. And their parents also got stoned. Brother, so for me to hear now that they're in college and they still saying, I still have my stone, 20 years later, that thing messes me up. So going back to your statement, yeah, we were running around and we were burnt out, and we were doing this and we were doing that. The question is, but were we effective?
Right.
Were we productive?
Right.
That family always reminds me, oh yeah, when somebody can tell you about a sermon you preached 20 years ago, and I never repeated the sermon. Never. Never went somewhere else and repeated the sermon. Never preached it even here in New York. But for them to say that, that lets me know that my running was not in vain.
Right. Right.
Somebody was blessed out of it. But I'm not saying that about all that I did. I can't say it about all of it.
No, I get it. I get those at times too. And trust me, I get it. So we got to do part 2, right? And yeah, I would say this though, but now that I'm not as involved, and looking in, I see a lot of the immaturity, and I see a lot of the mistakes that even I made in the immature things that I've done, that I had to change. So, you just like ridiculously blessed us, man. Just crazy.
No, I know that we have been blessed. Only here it is to be a blessing to others. And if I can get someone to walk in the liberty for which Christ has made us free already, it's not a new thing. He's already made us free. If I can get someone to come into an awareness of the gift that is inside of them, if I can get someone to come into an awareness of the greatness and the ability and the authority that they're already possessing. Remember, it's according to the power that worketh within you. It's already there. If I can get somebody to come to that awareness and start living their best life, then listen, this entire interview would not have been in vain, even if it's just one person.
Oh, that's amazing. So how can people find you?
I am on all of the major social media platforms. Dr. Dr. Eric, ERIC, B as in boy, Turner, TURNER, Dr. Eric B. Turner. Instagram, Dr. Eric B. Turner, Facebook, and there's YouTube videos of both preaching and singing, and that's secular and gospel. My website, www.drericbturner.com. And it's updated with calendar, events, and shows that I have coming up, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I'm. If you could just listen, you can Google me and find me there at Facebook. Dr. Eric B. Turner. I'm all over the internet somewhere.
So, this interview kind of really changed. You have you have your own website too, and this interview kind of totally changed for where we were going. But I loved it because it was necessary, and I think a lot of people really broke free today. So part two, I really want to talk about for those that are singers, actors, performers, artists, music artists, and things like that in the church, and they want opportunity to do things in, let's say, the secular, because maybe the church ain't really treating them right.
Like, for example, how I have a soul CD that's coming out.
Right.
Soul music.
Right.
Not gospel. This is not a word, a pun game with the word soul. No, it's literally soul music coming out, and still will be the pastor and the preacher. Yes.
And you have, but you know, but you have like, and to touch on that too, because I don't know if I want to go back to the church thing again, but you have also artists that visit your church, very famous artists that you toured with, and someone that visit your church and stuff. How do your church and everything like that receive celebrity, artists, or even you as your celebrity? So how do they receive you as the pastor and your friends and people that in the secular world and gospel world that come and visit your church?
Well, number one, let's give clarification. The worship center is not a church.
I'm sorry. Now you're church.
No, I understand, and that's the word. It's to put that out the back, but it's not a church. Mm-hmm. And there's only one celebrity there that we're coming to see, and that's the Lord. And I make that perfectly clear to everyone. But again, we're dealing with a group of mature believers. And again, to be clear on that whole issue of maturity, see, the immature believer, this is about to hurt somebody, which, again, I don't care. The immature believer says, Pastor, I just want to let you know, Sister so-and-so in church, and, they're waiting for you to come and visit. See, that's immaturity. That's so immature. Not only for the person bringing the news, it's immature for the pastor to feel like he or she has to run around praying for everybody when God has given us the authority to do it.
Exactly.
So at the worship center, we don't look for people to do that. If they're saying, Pastor, just letting you know, sister or brother so-and-so is in the hospital, we're going to pray, but we just want to keep you informed. But see, that's a different approach.
Right.
Then, no, you have to go up there.
Right.
Yeah, two different concepts. And in regards to the approach, there is no celebrity. We don't do the whole celebrity thing. And unofficially, which I have never, ever signed up for it, any camps that I've been a part of, many tours that I've been a part of with major artists, somehow, way, shape, or form, I always become the chaplain, which I don't know. I shared with you that I worked with and recorded with Mariah Carey. And it is funny, she's always just like, Pastor, can you pray? You don't do a recording session with Mariah without opening with prayer, and then we close with prayer as well.
Okay.
At the end of the session. And she says, Pastor, can you pray? And I always say, ain't nobody else up in here to pray. Now, some people would say, oh, well, that's a privilege to ask you. But, well, no. Because guess what? Turner won't always be here.
Right.
I need y'all to develop a prayer life.
Right. Oh, no.
And that's me being real. I'm like, no, I ain't praying.
No,
somebody else pray. That's just me being real. Like, no, I'm not praying. Somebody else do it.
I feel it, Dr. Turner. And look, so I want to say, part two, I'm going to tell everybody, tune in for part two, because part two, we're going to talk about your international travels and your as an artist, as a performer, and how can someone that is in the church break into that type of field as well? Like, how did you break in?
Sure.
And do you give any pointers or any advice for people who want to go in?
Would love to.
Now that they know that they can be saved and still do secular and not have to not care about what people's opinions are.
I don't know why they did it in the first place, but yeah, you can be saved and still live your life more abundantly. And again, come to an awareness of who God has made you to be, and understand if you haven't broken free from that, it's because you allow it.
Turner, you said something. You said something to me before, and this blessed me. You said one was your occupation, and another was your destination.
Absolutely. When you look at, I believe it's First Kings, we look at Saul. The word said that I'm really gonna wrap up with this because I got to go. But when you look at Saul, I'm talking about King Saul, Old Testament. When you look at King Saul, within that text of First Kings, it says that his father sent him out to search for donkeys. Mm-hmm. I have a sermon that's called "Today I Cease to Search for Donkeys." And his father sent him out to search for donkeys. God was getting ready to anoint him to be the first king. Now, really, check that thing up. His father sends him out to search for his donkeys.
Right.
And God is preparing him to be anointed to be the first king of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And many of us in our lives, we have allowed someone to